You have just tapped into the Christian Life Coach Collective, and I'm your host, Laura Malone. I'm here to equip and encourage coaches in skills, business, personal life, and faith. I believe you're already 100% worthy and capable, and you're called for such a time as this. So let's get you walking it out with courage and confidence so you can be an amazing coach who sees transformation and great results in both your life and the lives around you. Let's get started. Today we're tackling myth number 12. It feels wrong to sell my services because coaching is supposed to be selfless. That feeling that selling is selfish and coaching is not supposed to be selfish. So it feels like there's something that is not congruent, right? And I think it hits deep for a lot of coaches, especially as Christians, especially as women, especially as like helping hearted people. So if you've ever felt guilty about charging or just felt weird or felt kind of sleazy about it because that's how you see selling, like you're less spiritual or you're not generous because you ask for payment in exchange for your service, then first I'll tell you you're not alone, but second I'll tell you it's also not going to work out to stay thinking that way and want to be a business owner. The truth is that a lot of coaches feel the tension, especially in the beginning. You got into coaching because you want to help people, you want to make a difference, but when it comes time to actually sell what you offer, you get frozen. That anxiety kicks up because of what you think about it. And I think there's a little bit of belief that if I really care, I would do it for free. If I was really selfless, I would just offer this to anybody, right? I want to challenge that because selling isn't selfish. It's actually one of the most generous, life-changing things that you can do for somebody else. So I work with a lot of coaches that are amazing and wise, compassionate. They're lots of life experience to offer. They're skilled in something. They're full of discernment and knowledge. But then they get to that place where it's the conversation and the discovery call, or beyond that even. Maybe even just to get somebody a discovery call. That's the let's talk about working together part of the conversation. And they start shutting down because of what is going on in their mind. So they feel like asking for payment makes people think that they're greedy, or makes them think like they are transactional instead of, helpful. So they kind of a lot of people tiptoe around it. They offer free coaching, or they do all of these things to get around it, or maybe even just completely avoid it altogether. What happens is they end up coaching or not coaching at all and burn out from all of the free coaching that they offer. They just do it whatever. They do it on the plane to the person next to them, but they never hand over the business card and say, like, I'm actually on vacation and I do not work for free. So they get burnt out, or maybe they're avoiding the conversation, which means that they're not selling any services. They're not making any offers because they're avoiding it or tiptoeing around it. So nobody knows that there's an offer. Nobody knows there's coaching that they can purchase and pay for so they can get the transformation. And then those people burn out because they're like, I just don't understand why I don't make any money in my business. So the people they could have helped never get a chance to get helped, because when you operate that way, you don't show up fully in the call to coach. But you have to do the reframe in your own mindset, because selling isn't selfish. It is a strategic service. When you coach somebody, you help them break free. You help them actually find freedom from like the strongholds. You help them overcome obstacles, push away hindrances, move forward in what they're called to do. They actually get to step into who they're, called to be. That is what I would consider a holy work. And offering that kind of transformation to people with clarity and confidence with a financial investment is actually part of faithfully stewarding your calling. So charging for your services actually allows you to get in the game and stay in the game because it sustains your coaching practice. It gives you the capacity to help more people without burning out and not having to work another job. So instead of seeing sales as asking for money, you've got to reframe it as offering a solution. And people are willing to pay for solutions. You pay for solutions all day long. And you're not accusing anybody out there for being greedy or transactional because they made you aware that there was a solution you could buy. And you're not selling yourself. You are inviting somebody into their own breakthrough. You're offering them a solution to their problem. You're offering them a path to get what they desire in their lives. And I think a lot of Christian coaches carry this very noble desire to make their services affordable and accessible because we care, right? We don't want to be a burden to people. We want to help as many people as possible. So if we make it lower cost, that will work. But the mindset trap about that is that in trying to make things affordable, we can unintentionally devalue our work. And that can create some confusion for people and even limit the type of transformation we hope to bring. So let's look at the difference real quick. Affordability, that is looking at a price point. And it says, I want to make sure this doesn't cost too much. Accessibility, that is a posture. It says, I want to meet people where they're at, but I still want to call them upward and forward. The gospel is freely given, but it cost Jesus everything. While salvation is a gift, growth usually comes with investment of your own time, your energy, your obedience. And oftentimes, growth comes with an investment financially. So when we insist on making everything cheap in order to protect ourselves in our own discomfort, or we do sliding scales or even donation-based things out of guilt or fear or false humility, we end up actually robbing people of the weight of their own transformation. The kingdom truth is that people value what they invest in. It's part of counting the cost. And charging for your coaching isn't about keeping people out. It's about calling them up. So what if pricing your coaching with confidence for yourself is actually part of the solution and breakthrough that you have to offer? And then you can let accessibility come through more, payment plans, make them very flexible, or offer scholarships, and then offer them strategically for different things, pray over the right people to receive them. And they don't even have to be full scholarship. They could be like partial, right? Create free content like a podcast where it's free, but it is really meeting the needs of the many out there. And operate when you are in the conversation about the investment, operate from a spirit of invitation rather than obligation in your own mind. And that's going to shift how they experience you in that conversation. But you have to let the value of what you offer remain very, very clear. And that's your job as a business owner. So you're not selling Jesus, right? You're stewarding a gift that he gave you. And stewarding it well includes that you have to price it with integrity and faith, not out of fear and guilt. And I know that this is really speaking to you because I wish somebody had told me this years ago. So what trips up a lot of Christian coaches is that we think selflessness means free. We assume that if we actually very, very much care, that we shouldn't charge, or at least not charge very much. But that is a misunderstanding of what selfishness really is, because selfishness isn't about charging money. It actually has nothing to do with money. It's a posture of your heart. And when the motive becomes all about what you get, not what you give, that is attached to selfishness. Most Christian coaches are not motivated by greed. They're motivated by service, and they want to help, and they want to be faithful. But ironically, that's exactly why they should charge, because the truth is that coaching is a service. But it's only available because you made yourself available. You carved out time and developed your skills and created space. You are stewarding what God entrusted you to do, and that has value. You're called to coach. There's value in it. So a service becomes available to others because someone chose to serve with intentionality. And that includes the structures and systems that have to be in place that make the offering sustainable, like the Sokoka system. That's the process of system, like the system of processes that you have to have in place to actually grow a business that I teach in the Called to Coach course. There's boundaries, there's pricing, there's payment, there's onboarding, like there's connection, there's visibility, all of these things. Some of the most selfless people I know actually run businesses and charge for their services and their goods so they can do more, so they can keep helping and serving people. They're not trying to get rich off somebody else's problem or their pain or their lack. They're really just honoring the value of what they offer and then creating a way to offer it for the long haul because they can do more of it because they don't have to go work for somebody else to pay the bills. And another thing is that value is not determined by you. So the value of something is defined by the person who actually wants it, the one who sees its worth and who is ready for the change, who's willing to do the work and invest in it. So you have to let go of the lie that charging for coaching means you're selfish, because selfishness is a condition of the heart, not a price tag on your calendar. And when your heart is surrendered to God, then your pricing and your calendar can be too. So a simple practice is just anytime you talk about your services, try framing it like, I help, and then kind of define who your specific type of client is. Maybe it's, let's just go simple. I help Christian women go from, and then define the struggle to define the outcome by doing this unique method. Okay. So I help Christian women go from unfulfilled and overworked at home to feeling really like they live on purpose and they're really doing something with their brain at the same time they're doing the day-to-day work at home and in the household and with family by training them how to become coaches and use their own life experience to guide others, right? So it's a little bit like saying a help statement, some people call it. I have a thing in the Called to Coach course where we talk about the Miracle Grow Convo, and it's who you help, and it's navigating that conversation so that you understand it so much that when people say, what do? You can say, well, you know how Christian women sometimes feel unfulfilled, like there's more, but they don't know how to reach it. Well, I help them discover their calling, define their skill set, and get the framework to build their own business. And that shifts the focus from money to mission and helps both you and your potential clients see the value in what you offer because you're framing it as you're offering a solution and a path towards results, right? They're looking for a coach if they're the right client for you. And they aren't feeling like you're being salesy or slimy when you tell them that working with you is a possibility. They're just thankful that you told them how you can help them, where to find you, and how to get started. Like, otherwise, how are they going to get results? So the real myth buster basically is that if you don't tell them that they can work with you and how you can help them, then somebody else is going to. They're going to pay somebody else to get that transformation, to go after those results they want. And perhaps they won't get the same results because you were the right person for them in this season, but you never told them that. Who knows? But do you want to leave it to chance, or do you want to be, make sure that everybody out there you care about helping actually has an opportunity to work with you and get the transformation that only you can offer? I sure want that. And not only for me, but I want that for you. So I want you to think this week on where you are shrinking back from offering your services because you have guilt or fear. And then think about what's it going to look like if you were to boldly offer your coaching as a form of kingdom service, because you're not alone in this. And if you're feeling really brave, write out that solution statement and start telling people. Like, try to tell 3 people this week. Share the episode with a fellow coach if you know anybody who's looking to do this, who needs the reminder that selling is not selfish, it is service. So remember, all things are possible and everything is figure outable. We can do it together. And I'll talk to you in the next episode where we're busting myth number 13. Thanks for listening. For more coaching resources and to learn how to work with me, head to sterlingandstonementoring.com or click the link in the show notes. Remember, walk boldly in your calling, and I'll talk to you next time.